Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. So let us start our session, guys. Remember, we have seen some basics of IP addressing in our last previous scenarios, previous classes. Like what we said, IP addressing, it is Internet Protocol, also known as software address or logical address. And we have seen some more details here, like every device must be assigned with one IP address because without IP address, communication is not possible. This is a very basic that we need to remember ever about IP address. IP address is a number that should be assigned on every machine in our network, whether it is a router, a switch, a server, a computer, a firewall, or whatever devices we use in our network. On every device, we must assign minimum one IP address. Okay, so without IP address, communication is not possible. See, in this network, we can see clearly all the devices are connected with each other, but if there is no IP address assigned on this laptop, okay, without IP address, this laptop, although it is connected to server and router and switch and everything, but without IP address, this laptop cannot communicate with any other device. So we must assign IP address here. And if you go to internet, guys, you know, internet, we access many things over the internet. So whenever we access anything on the internet, whenever we connect to any website, that website also has a one IP address, whether it is google.com or youtube.com, Facebook or Hotmail or whatever you access, everywhere there is an IP address. So the computer network, the devices will communicate with IP address. Within our company, the diagram that you see right now is within your company. It is called intranet. IP will be there on every device. But from your computer, if you are connected to internet, then again there is IP address over the internet. Like, you know, when you enable Wi-Fi or when you enable the internet on your mobile phone also gets IP address actually. Because without IP address, like I said, you cannot connect to any other device or any other network. So fine, that is about IP. So then what we have said here, guys, we have discussed about the binary and decimal numbers here. And some more numbers we have: binary numbers, decimal numbers, hexadecimal number, and octet. So let me do small revision here. Binary numbers are zeros and ones. We know this very well. There is no other number besides 0 or 1 in a binary. And but decimal numbers are 0 to 9. So whatever numbers we have, numerical numbers, all the numbers are decimal numbers. Okay, whatever numbers we use in our mathematics or anywhere, the numbers are decimal numbers. Okay, and hexadecimal number, guys, means we use decimal numbers here, that is 0 to 9, and we use some alphabets here: A, B, C, D, E, F, up to F we use. So totally we use 16 numbers here. Like I said before, hexa means 16. Okay, now there is one simple thing we have discussed and that we need to understand very carefully. That is, there are two versions of IP addressing. One is IP version 4 and IP version 6. We have IP version 4 and we have IP version 6. Yeah, hello Mukul. Any question here, guys?
Hello,
Please
sir. Good
feel
morning. No,
good
actually, I was
morning.
typing. Yeah, so I will type in question completely. Oh, that is sent by mistake. Sorry, sir. Good morning.
Okay, okay, no problem. Mukul. Let us continue. Okay, so remember there are two versions: IP version 4 and IP version 6. IP version 4 is how many bits? 32 bits. IP version 6 is 128. This is the size of your IP address. This is the design of your IP address. IP version 4 was designed with 32 bits number, and IP version 6 was IP version 6 is designed with 128 bits number. Remember, we are using IP version 4 for last 35-40 years. It was one of the earliest numbering system we designed in networking, the IP version. Now, if there was IP version 4, remember why we are using IP version 6? The main reason why we are using IP version 6 is the numbers that we have in IP version 4 are completely over. Companies have taken these numbers. If there is an IP address with google.com website, the same address cannot be used by any other person all over the world. If there is an address on your router in your company, the same address cannot be used by any other company. It is like our phone numbers. These are unique numbers. Okay. So IP version 4 numbers are limited. Limited means actually these are more than 4 billion numbers. Limited does not mean these are like thousands and lakhs. These are more than 4 billion numbers. But all the 4 billion numbers are over. Just see the size of our internet. Just see the size of the company's network. It's huge. Many devices are connected. Many websites are available. Many companies are connected with each other. Okay, so IP version 4 addresses are already over. So we started using IP version 6. So the design of IP version 6 is 128-bit. Now that is fine. It is very easy to remember, like IP version 4 is 32-bit and IP version 6 is 128-bit. But there is a very big connection we need to make here, and there is a very big logic we need to understand here. And the logic is IP version 4 is 32-bit binary number. IP version 6 is also in bits actually. But for a user, IP version 4 is presented in decimal form. And for a user, IP version 6 is presented in hexadecimal form. There is a major difference. IP version 4 is in decimal for a user. IP version 6 is in hexadecimal for a user. When you say decimal, what are the numbers here? 0 to 9. So see IP version 4 example, 192.168.12.155 is the decimal number. But in the background, for a machine, 192 will be in binary. 168 will be in binary, 12 and 155 will be in binary. Okay, IP version 4 is 32-bit binary number, but for a user, IP address is in decimal language, in decimal form. Now coming to IP version 6, we can say hexadecimal. See, there is a number called 25CF AD11. That means I'm using some alphabets here as well as I'm using the decimal numeric numbers. So that is your IP version 6. So I repeat again, IP version 4 is in form of decimal for a user. If I say IP address like this, guys, like say 25.134.251.178, this is actually a IP address. Maybe this IP address is used by some company, or maybe this IP address is assigned on any website. No one knows. It is IP. It is a valid IP. So what I'm saying here is this IP address is in decimal actually, right? This IP address is in decimal. But for a machine, 25 will be in binary, dot 134 will be in binary, dot 251 and dot 178, everything will be in binary. Machine will understand only the binary language, and the user will understand the decimal language. So for that reason, in the background it is binary, but in the front side it is your decimal. So it is in binary. That is the reason what we need to learn. We need to learn the binary language. We need to learn how to convert a binary number to decimal, decimal to binary. That is what we have done in our previous classes. So after completing this much, remember we have discussing binary and decimal conversion. See, I'll just revise everything today. It may take another 10 minutes for me to revise actually, because I can see some new people here. And from today, our classes will be regular. Okay, so in case for some reason if you miss any class, you'll be getting the videos and everything, so you can just go to those videos and you can revise. But as of now, we are still in our very initial part of our course, so I'll just do small revision what we have done in the previous class. Okay, now, so what is this binary to decimal conversion, or how to convert a binary number into decimal number? But before, let us see the structure of IP version 4. See, one more thing, guys, in case if you feel any difficulty in understanding anything, I always say this, please feel free to ask your question. Please feel free to send a message to me so that we can address that particular question. We can uh, clear that particular doubt and we can move ahead. If you're keeping a doubt with you, then if I'm moving ahead, it will be very difficult for you to understand. So always say this, again I'm repeating, till the end of our course, till the last class of our course, whenever you feel any difficulty in anything, just send me a message. I'll just address your question. Okay, fine. Let us come back. So IP version 4 is a 32-bit number here, guys. Okay, so 32 bits are divided into 4 octet. Now these are actually 32 bit. 0, 1, 1, 0. Bit means collection of zeros and ones, and combination of zeros and ones actually. Okay, so why they are divided into 4 octet? That is one of the question we need to address. What is the octet here? First of all, octet means 0 to 7. That means totally how many bits, how many numbers we have? Totally 8 numbers. So see here, 32 bits are divided into first octet, second octet, third octet, and the fourth octet. So we need to start from this yellow color. Yellow color is the first octet, green color is the second octet, then the third and the fourth octet. IP version 4 is 32-bit. 32 bits are divided into 4 octets. We can, as of now, we can say one simple reason why they have divided. See, if the numbers are not divided, 32 bits will be like this. When the numbers are divided, 32 bits are like this. So which is more easier to understand? Of course, the 4 octets are more easier to understand. Okay, so 32 bits are divided into 4 octets and each octet is separated by a dot. So we need to say first octet dot, second octet dot, third octet dot, fourth octet. So see the example 192 dot 168 dot 120 dot 10. This is actually one IP address. 192.168.20.10 is one IP. Okay, I'll just try to make things more easier for you. 120 dot 10. Fine. This is the IP address. But this IP address we have entered in the decimal language. So remember, once we enter a IP address in the decimal language, machine will automatically convert your IP address into binary. Whether it is a computer, server, router, switch, or whatever machine it is, it will automatically convert your decimal number into binary number because machines can understand only binary numbers. Okay. So to learn IP addressing in much better way, to understand everything about IP addressing, what we need to learn first? We need to learn binary to decimal conversion. So just take some random binary numbers and just try to convert the numbers into decimal. So we have seen these examples here. So let us go and revise this. The first example we have seen here is 11000000. This was the binary number. Okay, 11000000. And the output we got here is, we got output as 192. But the question here is how we got this output here. Let us see. Now see, when you convert a binary number, remember every binary number or every bit has a bit value. What is its bit value? It is 1. This bit value is 2. This bit value is 4. This bit value is 8. And this last bit value is 128. This is your mathematics, guys. Every bit has a bit value. Let us see here. This bit value is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Now, if you go to second octet, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. If you go to third and the fourth octet, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So in every octet, we need to start from the right side. When you see your screen, we need to start from the right side. The first bit value is 1, second bit value is 2, and the last bit value is 8. Now, when you jump to the next octet, again we need to start from the right side. Then again it will be 1, 2, 4, 8 up to 32. So all these are bit values here. Okay. Now, whenever you see a bit value as 0, that is your off bit. And whenever you see a bit value as 1, that is your on bit. That is the only calculation we need to understand. 0 means off, 1 means on. So in our first example, how many bits we have taken? We have taken 8 bits, right? So this bit is on. What is this bit value? 128. This bit is on. This bit value is 64. So 128 plus 64, it will be like 192. That means in a IP address, if you say 192 here, this 192 will be converted into which number, guys? It will be converted into binary number, and that binary number will be like this. It will be exactly like this. Okay, so 192 is a decimal number. Decimal number is converted into this binary number. So now we are learning binary to decimal, right? So just take a binary number and convert the binary number into decimal number. Let us take the last example. 51 is the answer. In between, we got 2 more examples. So 51 means how we got 51? See, we have taken 8 bits here. First of all, a bit is either 0 or 1. 0 means it is off. 1 means it is on. See, how many bits are on here? 32 is on. plus 16. 32 plus 16, how much? 48. 48 plus 2, 50. 50 plus 1, it will be like 51. That's it. Okay. Some people are new here, so I'll just show you one example here so that you'll feel much better here. Okay, I'm taking some numbers like 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. That's it, guys. This is my binary combination. 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. What we need to do here is we need to simply see how many bits are ones here, right? How many bits are ones here? This bit is 1. So this bit value is 128. Okay. This bit is 1, that is 32. Fine. This is 16. Fine. This is 1. See, any other bit that is on here? Of course, no. So whatever bits are on here, I have just highlighted those bits in yellow color so that things will be easy for you to see. I'll go to calculator now. So what I have to do now? Okay, so fine. So 128 plus 32 plus 16 plus 1. This is how much, guys? This is your 177. That means if you take a binary numbers like 1011000001, that means it is your 177 in decimal. Or in case instead of 120 here, if I say 177 here, if I say 177 here, how will be my octet formation here, guys? It will be 10110001. 177 will be converted with this value. 177 is a decimal number. It will be converted into binary with that number. This is what the binary and decimal number will look. Yeah, I already got some answers there. So it is your binary to decimal numbers. Okay. Still, if there is a doubt like why we are learning this binary decimal number, the doubt is very legitimate actually. I can say only one thing as of now. The thing is, if you have to learn everything in IP addressing, especially IP version 4, then you should know this binary and decimal numbers. Okay, so for that reason, again, I'm revising these numbers a bit. So we know the binary and decimal number, and let us say decimal to binary number before we go to the some other part of IP. So what is a decimal to binary number, or how to convert a decimal number to binary number? 192. Remember, there was a concept called LCM. Yeah, I hope you remember this LCM concept that you have done somewhere in school. So by using this LCM also we can convert a decimal number into binary number. Okay, I'll use a simple scenario. So how to convert a decimal number to binary? Decimal number is 192 here, right? So how to convert this number into binary? Easy way is I can simply go to Google and I can say like 192 convert into binary. But see guys, in examination, when you go for CCNA online exam, you will not get the Google option there, right? You will not get internet there. So you will get only calculator or maybe some paper. So you should know how to do conversion on paper first. Okay. So how to convert here 192 into binary. So remember these numbers 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. These are the bit values. So what is this bit value here? This bit value is 1, this is 2, this is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. These are the bit values here, right? Now, if you have to convert a decimal number into binary, the first thing we have to do here is we have to see what is our decimal number. Okay, decimal number is 128. Our decimal number is 128. Now, just try to convert this decimal number into binary. So, we need to do subtraction here. So what subtraction we have to do? Subtraction means, normally we say minus. Okay, so subtraction means this 128, this is the first bit we need to subtract. Now the question here is, can we subtract 128 from 192? Of course we can subtract because 128 is a lesser number, 192 is the higher number. So we can subtract 128 from 192. So if you subtract 192 minus 128, whatever, we will get how much answer? 64. So once you are able to subtract a number here, guys, so that bit will be, at that position, the bit will be 1. Okay. And what is the answer here? 64. So what is the next number here? 64. Can we subtract 64 from 64? Of course we can do. So then again, that second option will be again 1. So once you subtract 64 minus 64, your answer is 0. So what we need to do? We need to make all the other bits as zeros. After subtracting, if you get an answer like 0 and suppose remaining bits are 2 or remaining bits are 7 or remaining bits are 3, all the remaining bits will become automatically 0. Okay. Let us see one more example here. The same example that I have written here, like 212, 212.
हेलो सर.
Yeah, hello.
सर नितिन here. सर फिर से समझा दीजिए एक बार और.
Yeah, वही समझा रहा हूँ. Just a minute, please. So I repeat again. I'll repeat the second scenario. 212. Okay, this is your decimal number. We can use this number in our IP address. Okay, so how to convert this decimal number into binary? Now you should answer these simple questions here, guys. 212. Can we subtract 128 from 212? Of course we can do, right? Because 128 is a lesser number, 212 is a bigger number. So 212 minus 128. Output is 84, but this number will become 1 here. Okay, so how much is remaining here? 84. Now can you subtract 64 from 84? Again we can do, because 64 is a lesser number. Minus 64. How much is remaining? 20. But the second number will again become 1. Okay, can you subtract, what is the third bit here? Third bit is 32, right? Third bit is 32. Can you subtract 32 from 20? No, because 32 is a higher number, 20 is a lower number. So that is not possible. So this 32 number will become 0 here. Okay. Now the next number is 16. Can you subtract 16 from 20? That is possible. So minus 16. How much is the output here? 4. Okay. So this number will become again 1. If you are able to subtract the value, that number will become 1. If you are not able to subtract the value, that number will become 0. This is the logic we need to remember. Now the remaining is 4 here. And what is the next bit here? Next bit value is 8 here. Can you subtract 8 from 4? No, because 8 is a bigger number. You cannot subtract 8 from 4. Fine. So what is the next bit here? The next bit value is 4. Okay, so can you subtract 4 from 4? Of course we can subtract. So it will become again 1. And the other 2 bits will become zeros. Okay, I'll do one thing, guys. These are the examples that are already written there. So I'll do one example according to your number. So can you just tell me any number, please? I'll do one example with that number. Choose any number between 0 and 255 so that we can convert that number into our binary number. Okay, I got an answer like 358, but again, we cannot use 358 here, Amol, because there is some reason there. I'll come to that reason within 2 minutes. So I need a number between 0 and 255. Any number between 0 and 255.
244.
Okay, let us go with 244 here. 244 is a good number. 244. So now let us see how to convert this 244 into binary. So I'll just cut this and just paste this paste here. I'm not deleting anything here, guys, because the screen is not sufficient here. So I'm just moving things here. Okay, fine. Can you just make it? Okay, so 244 is a number. Now, it's a very simple calculation, guys. So please listen carefully. What we are learning here, we are learning how to convert a decimal value into binary value. So decimal number is 244. So what will be the binary of this 244? So first of all, open your calculator and just do subtraction here. So I'll just raise a question here. So just think of the answer. Okay. Now, my question here is, can you subtract 128? See, what are these bits here? 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. These are your bit values. These are the numbers we have. These numbers will be same. These numbers are fixed numbers. Okay. So my first question here is, can you subtract 128 from 244? So 244 minus 128. 128 is a lesser number, right? So of course we can do this. How much is the output? 116 is the output. But what we need to do now is take a break here and go back and just write the bit value as 1, because we are able to subtract 128 from 244. So the first bit will be 1. Fine. The second bit is 64. So can you subtract 64 from 116? That is also possible because 64 is a lesser number. So minus 64. Enter. So again, go back and make the number as 1. Fine. What is the third bit here? 32. Can you subtract 32 from 64? That is also possible. Minus 32. It will be 20. So this third bit will be again 1. Okay. Now, what is the fourth bit there? 16. Can we subtract 16 from 20? Of course we can do. So minus 16. So just go there and make this bit as 1. Now what is the output here? 4. Now what is the next bit value here? 8. So 4 is a lesser number, 8 is a higher number. So can you subtract 8 from 4? That is not possible. So what we do here is we'll make this bit as 0. Okay, this is not possible. Now what is the next number here? Next number is 4. Can you subtract 4 from 4? Of course, yes, output is 0. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to go there and make this bit value as 1. So how much is remaining here, guys? 0. So remember what I told you? If the remaining is 0 and if the remaining bits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number of bits, all the bits will be automatically converted into 0. So if you take 244 as a decimal number, the binary of 244 will be 11110100. Okay, I'll do calculation in some other way. Let us see the bit values here. What is the first bit here? 128. Second bit 64. Third bit 16. Third bit 32. Fourth bit 16. Fifth bit is 8 here, but can we take 8? No, it is 0. And what is the sixth bit? That is 4. So we got 244. If you do in that, we also it is 244. If you do in this, we also it is 244. So this is the way we need to convert a decimal number into binary. Okay. See, actually we can convert any decimal number. Like I got a question here like 358. I can convert 358 also. I can convert 300 also. I can convert 700 or maybe like 30,000 also. Any decimal number can be converted into binary. But why we are using specifically numbers between 0 and 255 here? Why we are using numbers between 0 and 255 only? There is a reason. Let us see that reason here, guys. The reason that we have already seen in our previous class. So anyone, can you tell me please why we are using numbers between 0 and 255 only?
Maximum 8-bit length is 255.
Exactly. In every octet, we have totally how many bits? We have totally 8 bits. So that is the length of your IP address. Let me write here, guys. Okay, I'll just write in this file only. See, the IP address range I have written here is 000025555555. What it means? It means if you take numbers, if you take binary numbers as 000000, how many bits I have taken here? I have taken totally 8 bits here. So all the bits are zeros. 0 means off. So if all the binary bits are zeros, then the decimal will be 0. But if all the bits are ones, then the decimal will be 255. Ones means 128 plus 64 plus 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. It will be like 255. So this is the story of your IP address. IP version 4 is totally 32-bit, guys. 32 bits are divided into 4 octet, and each octet contains totally how many bits here? 8 bits. I repeat again, each octet contains totally 8 bits. Okay, if you convert all 8 bits into zeros, the decimal value will be 0. And if you convert all 8 bits into ones, the decimal value will be 255. So in between we get all the ranges. The ranges are as follows here. We can see clearly. We have taken 192, 90, 204, 51, 177. These are the combinations. If you go with 192, it is 110000. If you go with 177, the last example, 1011000001, something like this. But if you take all bits as zeros, then it will be 0 in decimal. If you take all bits as ones, then it will be 255 in decimal. Got it? So for this reason, we have to take a number between 0 and 255 only. This is the range of your IP address. IP address range is from 0.0.0.0 up to 255.255.255.255. We cannot take a higher number than 255 in our IP address. Of course, there is no number before 0. So the starting number is 0 and the ending number is 255. This is fixed. This is documented. This is fixed. I'll just show you how to assign IP address once. This is my Windows machine. And if I go to Windows machine, see, I can see IP version 6 option here, IP version 4. So I'll go with IP version 4. I'll assign the IP address here. I'll just select a number between 0 and 255. So my numbers are 11.22.33.44. See, all the numbers are valid. This is your first octet, second octet, 22. Third octet, fourth octet. So in every number, I have taken a number between 0 and 255. Okay. If I take 100.200, it is accepting. But in case if I say 300 here, see guys, once I say 300, I got an error message here. So what is this error message? It says 300 is not a valid entry. Please specify a value between 0 and 255. So why it is asking us to specify a value between 0 and 255? Because there is a octet there, right? We have IP version 4. It is divided into 4 octet. So in one octet, in any one of this octet, if you take all bits as zeros, then decimal will be 0. And if you take all bits as ones, the decimal will be 255. So this is the range. Because of binary, we have decimal, right? Binary is for machine, decimal is for user. So if you say 300, then what machine will do? Machine will try to convert 300 into binary. So once you convert 300 into binary, actually, you will get totally 9 bits. You will get totally 9 bits there. Is it possible to get 9 bits in a single octet? That is not possible. So for that reason, machine is saying this is not an incorrect IP. This is not a correct IP, bro. So just go and assign an IP between 0 and 255. So now if I select 251 here, again it has accepted. Got it? So your machine will clearly prompt you. Your machine will clearly suggest you like what numbers to use. Okay, so we need to know the number should be between 0 and 255. That is a complete design of your IP address. So that is one of the part of your IP address, not complete design. There are 4 octets and every octet should be there between 0 and 255 only. You cannot exceed a number above 255. If you take a number like 256 and more than 256 in any of the octet, that IP address is considered as an incorrect IP address. Fine guys, this much we have seen in our last classes actually. So whatever we have seen before, I have revised everything. So hopefully people who came, for them that was more useful because it was a revision. And people who joined today, like a couple of people I have seen here. So for them, I hope you understood what we have discussed in last 30 minutes, 35 minutes actually. So please take your time, please take 30 seconds here. If you still have any doubts, any questions here, hopefully we'll clear everything. Then we'll move into the next topic, next part of IP address actually. And one more thing, actually, there is no power here as of now. They just cut out the power here in my area. I'm on UPS now, so I can continue on UPS for next half an hour. But in case if I log off suddenly, just try to understand my power is not here. Oh, it came back. Thank you. Okay, guys, no issues. So just please take your time. If you have any other issues, any other doubts here, we will just clear everything. We will go into the next part.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Mukul this side.
Yeah, Mukul Sharma, please go ahead.
Yeah, so this is my, I'm taking first time this class today. So actually, I am a Java developer. So like I am having around 7 years of experience. So, actually, I want to, make my career in cloud as well, like AWS, there are different clouds in
Yeah.
the market now. So because but when I was going through some of the articles, and when I gone through some of your videos, demo videos on the YouTube, so
Yeah.
so I just want to know, being a Java developer, I will I want to move into cloud. I,
Okay.
I don't want to move into as a network or Linux administrator. So
Okay.
I just want to know how much this course and Linux administration course is important for me for that. And and
Okay.
I don't know Linux administration as well.
Mm-hmm.
So which one I should do first if it is required, Linux administration or networking one, before moving into the cloud, or I can direct move into the AWS thing, and I can start learning there.
Okay. Actually, this question is not only for you, Mukul. This question is for everyone. So I'm answering this question for everyone here, guys. So please listen carefully. I know many people are planning to move into cloud. Cloud is a huge thing. There is a huge scope in cloud. It's a very latest technology, and there are many opportunities available. So many people are moving into cloud, and still they have jobs there. Okay. Now, is it compulsory? What is the prerequisite to cloud actually? Can we go and learn cloud computing directly? So if you go and learn cloud computing directly, or suppose you are learning cloud computing, forget about directly and non-directly. In cloud computing, there are like 50 to 60% classes. That means more than 50% of your cloud is related to CCNA and the server administration. I'm saying server administration here, guys. I'm not saying like Linux or MCS. If you know both, then it will be great for you. If you know Windows administration as well as Linux administration, that will be great for your career. Okay. But is it compulsory to go with CCN and all those things? This is my cloud account. I am a cloud administrator also. I just take cloud classes also. So I'll just try to show you something. I will log into my account. As you can see, this is Amazon Web Services account. So this is my account. Wait a second, guys. The easy answer will be like, without learning server administration and network administration, it is close to impossible for any person to learn cloud actually. Okay, can you see there are certain topics here, like there is a topic called IAM. This is related to users. Users we are learning in like Windows administration and server administration. There is something called S3 bucket. It is again related to database. We are learning in server administration. EC2 is a server that again we are learning in server administration. Using this EC2, we can like make a virtual machine. VPC is one of the most important topic. You cannot understand VPC. I repeat again, you simply cannot understand VPC without the knowledge of CCN. If you're not able to understand this VPC concept in cloud, you cannot understand any other concept in this. So my simple answer here is, see, we are not making a career for like 3 months or 1 year, right? I always say this. When you're switching to a new career or when you're starting a career, you're planning to go into this career for next like 5, 10, 15 years, right? So if you want to make your career for next decade or like next 15 years, it is compulsory, it is mandatory for every person to learn server administration and network administration, that is CCNA. Without these courses, you cannot understand cloud actually. That's it.
Okay. So and which course is first to do for Linux administration or CCNA?
There is nothing like first. You can go with two courses parallelly. You can go with two
Okay. So
courses parallelly. Yeah.
these two are related with each other, is it?
I can't say related, but can you see this network here?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I can say server administration. When I say server administration, I'm talking about Linux and I'm talking about Windows Server administration. Okay.
Okay.
So in server administration, you are learning about servers actually, types of servers, how to configure servers, and all those things. It will take around 35 days that you are learning there. And coming to CCNA, in CCNA, you are learning about three major things. One is IP addressing that we have started here. Another one is router concept. Another one is switch concept. So all these things are part of our network, but they are completely different again. Server administration is about servers, network administration is about routers, switches, and IP. So if you start with network administration first, doesn't matter. If you start with server administration, doesn't matter. The one thing that you should do is you should do both the courses. If you have time, most of us are in lockdown as of now, so there is a lot of time available. So it is better you go with two courses parallelly, so that in next 35-40 days you can complete both the courses. That is also possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, what I was asking is, I don't want to switch my career from a Java developer, right? I just
Okay.
want to continue with with that actually. So
Exactly.
that's why
Understood.
yeah,
Yeah.
this
You
is
can.
important, yes, because basics are really very important. That's why, okay, I got your point. So yeah,
Yeah. But normally,
thank
one more thing I want to add here. Welcome, bro. But one more thing I need to add here. Like people normally say like MCSE, CCNA, Linux is basic. But no, guys, this is not basics. These are your administration courses. Like you already have 6 years of experience, or you're just clubbing your career with some other career, your path with some other path. That I can say. But many people are here like freshers. They just finished a graduation maybe 1 year before, 2 years before. So they are starting their career now. For them, I'm saying like this is not basics. You will get a job on CCNA only. You can get a job only on Linux. You may get job only on Windows administration. These are the administration courses. So if you want to learn the cloud, there are like levels, like associate level, professional level, expert level, level 1, level 2, level 3, something like this. So cloud is more of a professional level. Okay, please do not take these courses as basics. Once I take these courses as basics, I will be like more complex here. No, these are not basics. The next 15-20 years, whatever you do in your administration career, that is networking career, what you're learning in CCNA will be useful for next 15-20 years for you. I can say this for like 10,000% guarantee, if there is something like 10,000%. So please make sure what you are learning, learn perfectly, try to understand whatever we are learning here, whatever we are discussing. But please do not think that these courses are basic courses. These are administration courses. You will not see any company on the face of the earth where there is no Windows admin, or where there is no server admin, or where there is no network admin. You will not. Computer networks will not work without Windows admin, without server admins and network admins. Internet will not work without these two people. Okay.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mukul. Thanks, bro. Okay, fine. So that was the IP address we were supposed to discuss. So I hope you understood whatever we have discussed till now. And people who joined today, and still, if you have any doubts here, guys, my videos are already available on YouTube. The starting videos. I have taken only small classes, the 2 classes. Actually, it was only 1 class, but I have taken for like 2 days. So you can please go through those videos, and you can again refresh your knowledge of binary decimal, decimal binary, and whatever we have discussed here, IP address. Okay. Now let us move into the next part of our IP address. First of all, IP address, whatever we are learning in IP address, like I said you before, it is a documented address. We are not adding anything from our side. We are not removing anything from our side. We are not modifying anything from our side. IP address is a documented concept. So whatever documentation is it, the documentation we need to learn. Like suppose when you start learning English, we learn A, B, C, D up to like Z. So from where we got these alphabets, we know this very well, right? These are documented alphabets. Is it possible to add something in between? We cannot think anything as of now, right? We cannot say like, okay, new alphabet can be added or something like this. So this is a documented thing. So IP address is also a documented thing. We should simply learn IP addresses according to the document. Okay, so that document we are learning. So what these people have done here is they have divided IP address into some classes. There is something called class, range, use. So IP version 4 is divided into 5 classes. Again, whenever you go with cloud computing, or if you go with like any other course, if you go with examination, this is a very famous, very famous interview question, guys. So what are the 5 classes? So the 5 classes are as follows. IP version 4 is divided into A, B, C, D, E. These 5 classes. Why they are divided into 5 classes? That will take 1 class for us to understand, that we will see tomorrow. But as of now, what are these classes? These are the 5 classes, and what are the ranges here? Class A range is actually 1 to 126. This is the range of class A. Class B is 128 to 191. Class C is 192 till 223. Class D is 224 to 239. Class E is 240 to 255. So these are the 5 classes here, friends, and these are the ranges of each and every class. Now let us see the use of each and every class. What is the use of class A? What is the use of class B, class C, class D, and class E? Now, class A, it is used in local area network and wide area network. Local area network means this is your local area network, your company's network. Within a company, like if some of you are already working, there are many computers, many employees are there. So obviously there will be many computers. So there can be 50 computers or there can be 15,000 computers, right? So that is called local area network. Okay. So this IP address, this class A is used in local area network and wide area network. Wide area network means I can say in a simple terminology, the internet. Wide area network is our internet. Like over the internet, there is a website with the name google.com. We know this website very well. So google.com has an IP address. Okay. So which IP address they are using? Maybe they are using class A IP address. And what is the use of class B? Same. What is the use of class C? Same. That means class A, class B, and class C. These are the 3 addresses that we use in our local area network and wide area networks. Within our company,
You have missed 127, sir.
yeah, very good. 127 we are missing, so that we will see why we are missing 127. Okay, beside 127, are we missing any other number there?
0.
Yes, exactly. 0 is also missing, right? So these 2 numbers we are missing, 0 and 127. So what is the use of 0 and 127? We will see in more details. Okay, great. Now, class A, class B, class C, we use in local area network and wide area network. Class D, we use for a special purpose called multicasting. And class E, we use for research and development. These are some special numbers. That means these 2 numbers, class D and class E numbers, we cannot use anywhere in our network. We use only class A, class B, and class C numbers. What is the range of class A? 1 to 126, class B 120 to 191, class C 192 to 223. It is a must interview question here, guys. They will ask you what are the classes available, what are the ranges available, and where we can use these classes. So we can use only class A, class B, and class C in our machines, whether it is within the company or over the internet. Class D and class E numbers we cannot use. They are reserved for some special purpose. Multicasting means like, there are some protocols that we will see in coming classes for sure, but there are some protocols there the use is multicasting. Multicasting means actually a way of communication. There are 3 ways of communication. One is called unicast communication, broadcast communication, and multicast communication. Unicast communication means 1-to-1. Like Sachin Tendulkar is talking to Virat Kohli, that is 1-to-1 communication. Messi is talking to Ronaldo, that is 1-to-1 communication. Okay. Multicast means 1 to a group. Like suppose Cristiano Ronaldo is talking to his Portuguese team, or Cristiano Ronaldo is talking to a Juventus team. That is called multicast. One person is talking to a group of people. That is called multicast. Okay. And broadcast means one person is talking to everyone. He is sending a message to everyone. That is called multicast. So these class D messages are reserved for multicast. We are not using these addresses on our machines. Class E is for R&D, research and development. Research and development means there are some organizations like NASA. In India we have ISRO. So there are many other research and developing centers. These people will use these special numbers. If I say a number like 100, if I dial 100 number on my mobile phone, or if I say like 109, you know what happens? Or 108. These are very special numbers, right? These are reserved for like ambulance, emergency, police, fire. For this, these numbers are registered or reserved actually. So in this same way, class D and class C numbers are reserved. We cannot use these numbers. We can use only A, B, and C numbers. Okay. Now coming to the numbers that are missing here, the two numbers, that is 127. 127 is again a very important question, interview question. It is called loop back IP address. But right now we are not in a position to discuss anything about 127. We will discuss this for sure. I have to show practically. I'll show them. And 0 also we cannot discuss as of now. For this also we need to wait for like some classes. Whereas 0 is used for default routing. So these two numbers are special numbers reserved for some purpose. 127 is reserved for loopback address and 0 is reserved for default routing. And what are these numbers? What is loopback and what is default routing? We will see this for sure. We have to see this for examination, interview, work process, everything. But maybe after some classes. Okay. So now we have all the numbers covered there. IP version 4 is from 0 to 255. Now see there all the numbers are covered. Actually, class A range is 0 to 127. That is the range of class A. Okay, but 0 is reserved for default routing, 127 is reserved for loopback address. So we are not using these two numbers, we are using some other numbers here, like 1 to 126. But from class D till class A, there are no numbers missing here, guys. All the numbers are in sequence. 128 to 191, then 192, 223 to 224, 239 to 240. There is no number missing there. Done. So just take your time, please, 30 seconds. Just try to revise this scenario. Very simple. IP version 4 is divided into 5 classes, A, B, C, D, E. Every class has a range. The range is already written there. And every class has a use. So whatever is the use of this class, that there only we can use a particular class. Okay. So take 30 seconds, please. Okay, guys, fine. That's good. So clear. Fine. So let us move and let us see something before we finish the class for today. The one thing that we need to understand today is, okay, these are the ranges, classes and everything, but how we know whether a particular IP address belongs to which class? Again, this will be an interview question and an examination question. So please listen carefully here. If I enter a number like 10.150.200.250, 10.150.200.250. First of all, the first thing we need to see here is the 4 octets: first octet, second octet, third octet, and fourth octet. All the 4 octets should be there in the range. What is the range, guys? Remember, 0 to 255. So okay, fine. All the 4 numbers are between the range 0 to 255. So that is perfect. Okay. Now the second thing we need to understand here is this IP address is from which class. So if you see the first octet, number is 10. Number 10 is coming in class A. Second octet is number 150. Number 150 is coming in class B. Third octet is 200. 200 is coming in class C. Fourth octet is 250. 250 is coming in class C. So how exactly we know this particular IP address belongs to which class? Very simple. Just see the number that is here in first octet. What is the number in first octet here, guys? The number is 10. So if the number is 10 in the first octet, this IP address belongs to class A. So simple. Okay. If I take a number like 110.1.1.250. Can you tell me please this address belongs to which class? 110.1.1.250.
Class A, class A.
B.
This is
A.
second class. Exactly. This is second class A. I said 110 here, right? 110 comes under class A only. So this address also belongs to class A. If I say number like 200.1.1.1. See in the first octet I am using number as 200. But second, third and fourth octet I am using 111. Okay, 111 comes under A. But do we need to see second, third and fourth octet here? No. What we need to do? We need to simply see the number that is there in first octet, and the number is 200. So the 200 number comes in class C. 200 number comes under class C. So this is your class C network. We should simply see the particular first octet is there in the first octet. What is the number? If the number is 75, it comes in which class? If the number is 175, it comes in which class? Okay. If I say a number like say 245.1.1.1. Now 245 comes in which class? We can see clearly 245 comes under class E. So this is a class E number. Okay, 245 is a class E number. So can we go with class E number there? Of course, no. Okay, now let us go and assign the IP address again. Last time we assigned the IP address here, but we have added some more information about IP. So let us go and check the IP again. So if I enter a IP address as 200.1.1.1, it has accepted my IP address, right? But if I say 245, I got a message here again. 245 is not a valid entry. Please specify a value between 1 and 223. It's a very big statement there, guys. So listen carefully, please. If you want to assign IP version 4, the first octet should be from ABC class. The first octet should be from A, B, and C. Second, third, and fourth octet can be any number between 0 and 255. That is the concept we need to know. First octet should be from ABC. Second, third, and fourth octet can be any number between 0 and 255. I'll write here. In IPv4, first octet must be from ABC class. And can you please make your headphone off, guys, please? Once you raise your question, please make your headphone off, please. Okay. So first octet must be from ABC class, and second, third, and fourth octet. Second, third, and fourth octet must be or can be between 0 till 1, 0 till 255. This is a very big statement I have written here, so just try to remember this forever. What I said, in IP version 4, the first octet must be from ABC class. First octet must be from ABC class. But second, third, and fourth octet can be between 0 and 255. So there can be any number between 0 and 255 in second, third, and fourth octet, but the problem is in the first octet. The first octet number should be from ABC class only. So see here, if I say a number like 200.250.254.254, it is accepting 254 in second, third, and fourth octet. It is accepting without any issue. But will it accept 254 in the first octet? No. So once you enter 254 in the first octet, it is sending you a message like 254 is not a valid entry. Please specify a value between 1 and 223. So the problem is only in the first. It's not a problem actually. It is the structure of your IP address. Okay. So the first octet defines whether your IP address is your class A, class B, class C, D, or E. Second, third, and fourth octet can be any number between 0 and 255. So this simple thing we need to remember. So there are two major things we need to remember here. One is the classes, ranges, and loopback and default routing. You will get 2-3 interview questions here for sure. And the second thing we need to remember here is how to identify the IP address. How to know whether the IP address belongs to which class, A, B, C, D, or E. So for that reason, we should see only the first octet. It should be in the first octet, the number should be between A, B, and C. And coming to the second, third, and fourth octet, the number can be any number between 0 and 250. That's the way to configure. That's the way to know our IP address. Okay, guys. So this was a new thing we have seen today. And from tomorrow, maybe I'll do the revision every class actually, but maybe not for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I'll just do revision for like 5 minutes every day, whatever we have discussed in our previous session. So from tomorrow, we are learning all the new concepts. Okay, so whatever we have done till now, we have majorly completed 2 classes. Today was a 1 class, and before this 1 class, excluding demo. Okay, so if you still have any doubts, these classes will be available on YouTube. Today class will be uploaded within like 2-3 hours on YouTube. Go to the Durga Soft channel there. It will be uploaded there. So just try to revise everything again and again, because I'll say one thing in a very simple way. If you have to make a career in networking, like cloud or security or Linux or whatever, if you are good in IP addressing, you will be good in all the other technologies. If you're not good in IP addressing, you will not be good in cloud. If you're not good in IP addressing, you will not be good in Linux or security or anything else. So please make sure you learn IP address in a perfect way and you learn detailed about IP address. Okay. So this was the class for today, guys. Just try to remember the classes, ranges, and uses, and how to identify the classes. So I'll be here for like 5 more, maybe like couple of more minutes. So in case if you have anything else to say regarding today's class and anything else to ask, hopefully we can clear everything today. And we can come again tomorrow at 8:30 and we can continue with our IP addressing class. So it's over to you now, guys.
Sir, where we can found the syllabus of this course?
Syllabus, syllabus is there with the management. You can simply call the management. They will share the syllabus with you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, there is a question from one of our friend, like what is IP addressing that we started today? Subnetting will take like 3 classes. Okay, once you finish IP addressing, you can start subnetting. It will take totally 3 classes. And what is a network and how to create a network? It will take around 10 classes for us to learn about networks. So these are the 3 questions shared by one of our friends here. So all these things we have to see. This is actually your CCNA. This is what you learn in your CCNA. So we need to see each and everything step by step. So for that reason, for that only, it will take like around 35 days for us to finish our course. And Victor, are you available there? Can you hear me, Victor? Mr. Victor. Okay, guys, fine. So anything else here, guys? I still have 30 seconds before I move into some other class. So I hope everything is clear. But again, as I said you, this is still we are into like the second class of our course. And I'll just repeat what I said before I stop the class. Make sure whenever you attend a class, sit with a book and a pen so that you can do some calculations here. That is one thing. Second thing is be regular in every class and be on time. The class is at 8:30, so be here at 8:30 so that you can understand everything clearly. Okay. And third one is make sure whenever you have any doubt, just send me a message in the chat box. I'll just come to that question once I finish the topic that I am discussing with. So make sure you clear all the doubts. Okay. And the fourth one is you'll be getting all the support from my side. Like I'll be preparing you for interview. Like today I said like there are 3-4 interview questions we will get. So I'll be preparing you for the interviews. What questions I will ask you beside learning administration and all those things. And I'll share you some interview questions also that will help you in like understanding what they are asking in interviews. Okay. And coming to notes, you will get all the notes. You'll get this running notes. You'll get the recorded classes as well as you will get a lab manual that is created by me. So you'll get the books. Don't worry about books and recorded classes. You'll get all the recorded classes. So for these 2-3 classes will be available on YouTube directly. But the other classes after like 2 days, the classes will not be there on YouTube. You will get classes directly into your mail ID. They will share the classes with you. Right now, the classes will be available somewhere on YouTube here. This is your Durgasoft here actually. Just go to durgasoft.com and go to this videos option. Say you can see all the videos here. And our last class was this. This was the last class, CCN. This was on 5th, that is on Saturday. So just go to this class and just try to revise this class again. It was 8:30 class. And this was the second class. Okay, and this is the first class. First class was only demo. Actually, second and third class, you can take these 2 classes as one class because I have not discussed much there besides some basics. So you can go and revise everything there. Fine. So people who came new, people who came for the first time today, if you need anything else, if you need any other assistance, please call Durgasoft after like 12 p.m. They will just make a call to me. They'll just connect your call to me. You can talk to me directly and whatever doubts you have, you can clear all the doubts. But coming to the CCNA, we are still in the initial part of the CCNA. So don't feel like we have done something. No, we have not done anything. Today I have revised everything. Okay, so whatever you need, any other help, any other assistance, you can simply call them and you can talk to me directly. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Please take care of yourself, be safe, and hope to see you again tomorrow at 8:30. And we'll continue with our IPRSN class tomorrow also. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.